Hey Ron, Tim here. So this is a sort of a follow-up to the rank score analysis. After finishing that video, Jeremy got in contact with me asking if I could do another video about the monitors tool. So this is sort of like a introduction. Basically runs you through everything that you need to know about monitors, as I believe your team will be doing a lot of the ranking checks in the future. So as you can see here, this is sort of the main monitored screen. Um, when we log in, it's got a whole heap of different things. So normally what you'll be required to do is you'll be given a specific client. So for example, so we're going to look at bonds. So the best way I normally do that is I just go bonds. Now for this, yeah, see here that how they've got bonds, new keyword, blah 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 blah. There may be a bit of confusion into which, if there's multiple monitors, which one you actually choose. So I suggest if you do find multiple monitors under the same URL, just confirm with myself or whoever's actually managing the account as to which one. I'll get them to send you a link. So we're going to go to, let's see, I've got a whole heap of bonds ones. So this is the Pack Brands bonds, and then I'm going to go to View in the right hand corner. So wait for that to load. Now, as you can see, I've got a whole heap of rankings here. So this is the keyword. This is where our monitor tool is ranking them. That's what it's actually going to google.com.au, manually finding bonds.com.au, wherever that, and then checking that specific keyword. With this scheduling, so what this is set to is the frequency is daily, and the interval is once a day. The first execution you can see here, that was done back in January, the 29th of January 2014, and the last one was done today at 7:45 in the morning. So what are we looking at here? As you can see here, there's a bit of a blank here. The reason why that is it's one of two reasons. The first reason is monitors could have manually missed it, and that's not anyone's fault. Sometimes they do miss keywords, and which require you to actually manually check what the ranking is for that specific keyword, or they're actually ranking outside the top 6. So as you can see here, we're only checking the first 6 pages of Google. Anything outside of that, the monitor tool does not check. So if bonds does not rank in those 6 pages, if the monitor tool can't find bonds in there, that's when it will show a blank. Otherwise, what we can do is we can just check leggings. So I'm just going to go, the best way to do it is actually go to private browsing. So what this does is this removes all your search history, anything like that, and cleans the cache and all those sort of things. So Google isn't personalizing your results. So I'm going to paste this in here, leggings. So what we can do is we can just check, and here, you see here, this is where one is actually ranking leggings. So that's 1, 2, 3. We do not count images or news results as a position. 4, 5. So they actually ranked 5th for that. So I'll just go out of that. So that should be 5th, and then we can check some others later. So what also we want to do is we want to check the history of this. So if I want to check, as you see, it's the 20th. I don't want to check what happened in the last month because I actually did a ranking check on the 1st of every month. So I'm going to check back 20 days. So just wait for that to load. Okay, as you can see, what this has done is this has pulled the rankings for the last 20 days. Oh, it looks like it's got a bit more. Just so it gives you a bit of a snapshot. as to what's happening. Say, well, is there any keywords which have had a bit of a drop? Yeah, say here, this keyword here, tights. It was around 18th, then it's randomly dropped to the 41st position. That's going to raise a bit of an alarm bell. So I sort of want to know, okay, why did this happen? So before here, a couple of days ago, it actually jumped from 34th to 17th. So it looks like this rankings are slowly jumping around a bit. So in this situation, if you are checking these sort of rankings, what I do, and you do see these uh, drops, I'd actually flag it with the account manager and just say, look, I noticed there was a massive drop from in women's clothing or whatever the keyword is. From tights. From it dropped from 18th to the 41st position, and that occurred on the 19th of March. So just be aware of that. You don't have to be looking at all the clients' rankings every single day. Ideally, what we want to look at is the first of the month and the 15th of the month. So we do the first of the month we send out the ranking reports. We just have like an Excel spreadsheet, which I'll show you in a bit. And then on the 15th of every month, what we're actually doing is we're checking to see how those current rankings are going. If they have been some drop-offs, what we generally do is we will send off a list to Jeremy, and what we're doing is we're comparing the 15th of the month to the 1st of the month. If that has dropped by 2 or more positions, then we flag it with Jeremy with that specific client and the keywords that have dropped, and just let them deal with it so they can either put some more links into it or do some more external work. So after we've done that sort of thing, I ran you through exporting the rankings. I'm not going to do that at the moment because it does take some time, as you well know. But what we can do is we can just go back, and here's the ads and the ad side position. I don't really worry about this. It's not, yeah, I sort of ignore it. This is more of an AdWords thing. I wouldn't be too concerned about it. This below here, it's sort of as I was saying in the rank score video. This sort of gives you a bit of a snapshot on what the organic strength is for the list of keywords. So clearly, the Iconic is the dominant player, and Bonds is at 10%. So there's a bit of room for growth there, and we can see that. What else have we got? I can also export the term history. So if I click on this, it might take me a couple of minutes. So what this will do is that'll export those 20 history results into it's popped up. So then I'm just going to click on Excel. And just hope this will work. There we go. Alright. So that's just popped up. So as you can see here, these are all the rankings. So it actually swaps around the rankings. So this here is the 23rd of February, and this here is the latest ranking result. Now, don't be concerned with all these gaps. At the moment, we're having a bit of trouble with the monitors tool not picking up the rankings. It's not because Bonds is losing a lot of rankings and gaining them back. It's just if you see something like this where it goes 14, 12, and a massive gap here, and then to 9, it's nothing to be concerned about. It's generally something wrong with the monitors. The team's looking into fixing it as well. So now we're going to go into a bit of reporting. So I'm going to actually open up the Dropbox for the bonds report, and just so you got a bit of an idea. Alright, so this is the bonds report. So this is the sort of stuff you guys will be looking at. So as you know, here's the keywords that the client's going after. Here's the sort of baseline rankings. So we measure that on baseline before they started. Sometimes if they want to expand the campaign, we'll add, there'll be some keywords that we'll add in after. And we'll just measure the baseline from the day before or the day that they signed on the agreement to add those new keywords. So that's that baseline for those new specific keywords. And then it shows the last couple of months worth of data. So December, January, February, and March. Then what we've got here is a month-on-month difference. So that's comparing February to March, and all it's doing is taking E2 minus F2. So as baby boy clothes, that was once ranked 6th in February. It's now ranked 2nd, so it's gone up 4 spots. In this difference here, what that's doing is that's actually comparing what they ranked at the baseline of the camp before they started with us. So they were ranked 16th before they started with us. Now they're ranked 2nd, so they've gone up 14 positions. Now if that sort of works out the calculation, it's pretty easy to work out. So all you need to do is double click that, and that will automatically work out all those calculations. Here we've got the total. So what this is the number that everyone's really concerned about. 8. So they've gone up 8 positions month on month. So this will, as you can see here, it's just the sum of this all the way down to here. And it does the same thing with this results. So they've actually gone up 514 positions since they first started with us. If you're wondering what this NA is, as I said before, we only do the first 6 pages, and if we can't see bond in those first 6 pages, we call that NA. Now, because they're outside of the first 6, we say 6 because it actually grabs the first 60 results, because that's what 6 pages is basically. We just say 60 minus blah blah blah, whatever that sum is there. So that equals 46. That's generally why these are so much higher, because they weren't ranking for these particular keywords. So that's sort of like what a basic ranking report looks like. What else I can show you is just this keyword execution. So what this is, we can actually do like a quick keyword execution. Unfortunately, it won't be finished by the time we're done, but by the time I finish this video, but just to give you a quick idea. So what this does is, if we want to just run a basic report, or if I want to get a list of keywords and where they're ranking reasonably quickly, all I needed to do is we just go in here. We'll call this keyword execution training. Google.com.au. I want to check the first 6 pages. I want to check www.google.com.au. I want to check where they're ranking for Google. And there, with that execution time, I generally leave it blank because I want it as fast as possible. If you're planning on doing a ranking check in the future, which I've never really done, you can then set the year, the month, the date, the hours, the minutes, and the seconds. It's not, I don't think it's really needed. And then all we do is press run. So as you can see, that hasn't actually appeared yet. It generally takes about 2-3 minutes for that to appear, and then it'll say running. And then because we've only put one keyword in there, it shouldn't take too long, but I will come back to that. So to give you a quick snapshot, we'll look inside the client king content and just a few buttons here. So rerun is basically rerunning all the keywords that are existing in this group. View, which we'll go to now. So as you can see here, the person who put this in is only wanting to look for 6 keywords just to give a quick idea on how they're going for those 6 keywords. It also shows the ranking URL. So the ranking URL is what Google sees as that URL and what you'll land on. If you find that keyword, say content marketing agency, you go to the 16th position, which is king content, and then it will go to this about us page, as clearly shown here. So that's pretty much to give you a quick snapshot. Oh, and then also, obviously, the reason why these rankings are blank is one of 2 reasons. What I mentioned before, either because the monitor tool has missed some keywords, or it's actually outside the top 6. What you can do, if there's a large majority of the keywords missing and you know that they, for a fact that they rank inside the top 6, or what I would do is I would just rerun that entire thing again, and yeah, just to make sure to get your correct rankings. What else do we have? So as you can see here, keyword execution training, that's the one I set up. We've run it, and let's view this. So Google ranks number 1 for google.com.au. I'm sure that's pretty simple for you. The next thing what we're going to look at is, if I can find it, I'll just... There we go. So this is like what we call a mid-month check. Let's put this in Excel so it's a bit easier to read. Alright, so this is stuff that I've done recently, about 5 days ago. So what I did here was, the way I sort these rankings out is, as you can see with this, is on today, which is on the 15th of March, this keyword, condoms online, is ranked 60th. On the 1st of March, they were ranked, when we did the initial ranking report, they were ranked 44th. So they've actually dropped 16 positions. Now that's the landing page that they appear on. So the reason why I'm concerned about that is because that's a lot of positions to drop. It's generally the higher the position is, and then if there's a big drop, that the more concerning it is. So because this is outside the top like 20 results, from 44 to 60 is not so much a big deal. But if it drops from, say, number 5 to 30th, that's when I'll be pretty concerned. So the way you do this is you would put all the keywords in for that particular client. You would get your rankings for the day, and you would find the rankings for the first of the month. Then you just work out the difference doing that. If it's by more than 2 positions, it goes here. Sometimes I actually do 1 position based on the fact that if it's a very high ranking keyword, say bras, where they were ranked number 1 in the 1st of March, they dropped to number 2, I do include one position drop just because of the high drop volume keyword. And also put the landing page in. Now generally the way I do that these days is I can actually send you a little tool. So this tool, this gives me a bit faster snapshots to monitors. So here's one of our clients, Hard Yakka. So what this tool does is actually, if it works, hopefully, it actually crawls these keywords, works out the monthly search volume, which is what MSV stands for, has the live rank here, and also will, if it works correctly, hopefully, will give you, as you can see, there's all this long bits of code. It will give you the ranking URL. So the whole reason why I want to do this is I want to find that ranking URL. I'll actually send you so you can actually view this as well. And then what you do there is you just paste that in there. Apart from that, that's about it. So on the 15th of the month, you'll be required to do that. Obviously, for the first 1 or 2 months, like, by all means, send it to me. Check it off first, see if you're doing everything correct, or send it to Keith, Min, Tom, anyone. And on the 1st of the month, you'll also need to do those other ranking checks. Yeah, so there's another section, what we call, I don't know if you've heard the term, doesn't look like this is going to work, but when it does work, it clearly shows that. There's another section which you'll need to look at. It's not really so much looking at this, it's more looking at, you need to do daily checks for specific clients. which are on what we call a performance-based engagement. So we'll give you, they'll have a list of keywords, and they may need to rank 50% in the top 5. It just really depends on the performance-based engagement. So before you actually receive that client, we'll just say this is what the contract clearly outlines. So say they have 50% of the keywords that need to rank in the top 5 before we can start charging them. So let's, before we had this client here, Appliances Online. This client, they had were on a performance-based engagement, and we had to basically track their rankings every single day to find out how they were doing. Because we had to rank a certain amount of keywords in that top 5 or top, and also there's a few that need to be consistently in the top 3. So it was a bit of a complicated deal, but we managed to get that over the line. But yeah, every single day you'd need to, obviously on weekends, I definitely do not expect you to check those rankings. I advise you do not do that. But every other day, yeah, you just need to do. I'd probably just set a reminder if you do get one of those performance-based engagements, just at 9 a.m. or whenever you start work, just to check those rankings, just so you got it in your as a routine until they hit that goal. Then, as soon as they hit that goal, I would try and call Jeremy or Skype him or whatever, because it's very important that client knows that on the day that the rankings and are live, they've hit that goal. Also, if they do hit that goal, I'd recommend checking that from a live perspective. So I've mentioned this before, but say we're looking for a keyword here, we're just going to look for cheap clothes. So say bonds, for instance, they need to, for their performance-based engagement, they actually need to rank number 1. So you're just checking that there. If our monitor tool showed that they ranked number 1, but this clearly showed number 2, I would flag it to Jeremy, or just tell him that I'm not seeing the live result is actually different to monitors, so that may cause some confusion. Yeah. Also, coming to SEMrush, this is sort of a good guide on what we do when we sort of want to get sort of an even spiel, so to make the client agree to what the rankings are. So I'm sure you've seen SEMrush. I'll actually have to do it on this computer, on this thing here. I'll just go to it. Alright, so what we're going to do here, we're going to go to bonds.com.au. Then we're going to go to this positions tab. I briefly showed you this before. So as you can see, then for example, cheap clothes. As you can see here, cheap clothes number 2. Monitor shows number 2. That shows number 2. So it sort of has. It's sort of like because rankings can be so personalized and so geographic and all that, there can sometimes be some confusion around if that website is either ranked 2 or 3 or wherever. So this sort of gives you a even sort of thing saying, okay, SEMrush is showing number 2 for that keyword, and often the client will agree that that is a good sort of measurement, because it does, it's pretty even. That's about it from me. If you, by all means, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Obviously, for the first couple of checks, please send me some emails, or anyone some emails. I'd be happy to help. And yeah, good luck. Thank you.